All right, welcome back to another video. Like, subscribe, and comment, y'all. We got a very interesting video today. I know we made the Monster Inc. one already about Jeffrey Epstein and, you know, the little correlations on how it actually could sync up to what they actually were doing, man. And it's sick. It's still sick. So I wanted to be able to expose these videos because it's very much needed because, one, I was talking to my dad about it the other day, and he's just total naive, and he's just like, can't fabricate anything at this point. All of our parents is from that era of like, you know, just the system, you know. But it's like, it's sick that our parents took us to see that, especially after we watch this video. You guys are going to have your mind open as well. And let's jump right into it, man.
In this world, grotesque entities creep into children's bedrooms under the cover of night. They watch from the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Right when the child is at their most vulnerable, they extract their terror to power an entire civilization. If you think this is a script for a new R-rated horror film, you couldn't be more wrong. This is actually the story of the blockbuster hit Monsters, Inc. For some reason, Disney thought a movie about entities harvesting children's energy was a great choice for a family film. But it's not just Pixar. From the Sanderson sisters literally sucking the souls out of children in Hocus Pocus, to the dark eternal cycle of the Lost Boys and Peter Pan. Today, we're looking at movies that aren't as innocent as you remember.
Let's go, y'all. Let's unpack it.
Is how these stories seem to be a direct reflection of how energy is actually harvested from the innocent in our real world. These films seem to be telling a sinister story disguised as an innocent childhood classic. Once you see how they reveal real-life darkness, you will never see these movies the same again.
Oh my God.
When I was a kid, like many others, I watched Monsters, Inc. a few too many times. While all I remember was the little girl and the one-eyed monster Mike Wazowski, it always seemed like just another innocent children's movie. But after analyzing the story a few years back, I realized this wasn't innocent at all. In fact, this film was actually really dark. I don't even know how they got away with this one. When you strip away the bright animated characters and the silly voices, you're left with a dark, disturbing story about monsters who harvest the fear of children. In the film, these monsters use portals to sneak into children's bedrooms in the middle of the night. They use these fearometer capsule devices to literally collect children's fear, which they use to power their world. These aren't the cute little monsters we remember. These are straight up demonic creatures who prey on children. They were literally terrorizing these kids at night.
Like I said in the last video, I think the monsters represent all the elites and the individuals that have higher being and the higher powers that do these things. So they, you know, made them as these monsters in this movie.
But more importantly, they were showing us the shady business of harvesting child energy, showing how it's collected and distributed by a shadowy corporation. In Monsters, Inc., the primary villains are Randall and Henry, the CEO of the company. The two
like I said last time,
showing how it's collected.
Peep the map in the back. South America on that cusp, right in the middle in between, like where Florida and the South America, the lighter red, that's where Epstein Island is.
And distributed by a shadowy corporation. In Monsters, Inc., the primary villains are Randall and Henry, the CEO of the company. The two conspired to abduct the innocent from their bedrooms for a much darker purpose. They weren't just scaring the kids the normal way. They built a machine called the Scream Extractor to take their energy without them needing to scare them at all. Henry, the CEO of the corporation, claims he's doing this to solve an energy crisis. But think about what they're really showing us. This is a powerful CEO of a massive company admitting that he is willing to collect and terrorize the youth just to keep his system running. They were showing us a high-tech industrial way to harvest fear. Instead of the natural way they collected energy in the movie, the Scream Extractor was designed to bypass the rules and take everything from the source at once. It was a literal machine built for the extraction of innocence. When Henry says, "I'll take 1,000 of them before I let this company die,"
I mean, yo, like, what else we need to hear? Cause, yo, Disney, all of them is evil and demonic. They just been fucking training our minds from kids.
Wasn't just being a movie villain, he was revealing the exact mindset of the elites we see in the real world. The idea that the energy of the innocent is just another resource. They're telling us that this evil system is literally what powers their world. If you've been paying attention to the recent 2026 documents, you know this isn't far-fetched at all. Just like in the Monsters Inc. universe, our world seems to be plagued by the very same evil. It seems like many powerful people were involved in the very same thing these monsters were doing in the movie.
Absolutely.
Now actually think about it. If someone were sneaking into your child's room and scaring them just to harvest their life force, that wouldn't be considered an adventure. It would be considered a massive exploitation operation. That is exactly what this movie depicted, but it did it in such a Pixar way that it went right over people's heads. But if you
exactly
thought
what the
Monsters Inc.
intention
was dark,
was.
Hocus Pocus takes it to a whole different level. This
Hocus
movie is
Pocus,
a
all
Halloween
these
staple,
Disney
but if you
demonic
actually look at
movies.
the opening scene, it's one of the most disturbing things Disney has ever put on screen. In the first few minutes of the movie, we see the Sanderson sisters lure a young girl, Emily Binks,
Evil witches.
into their cabin. They don't just take her, they use her for a strange ritual. We see the sisters brew a potion that they give to the girl. Her life force starts glowing, and then they literally suck the life out of her to restore their own youth. Now think about what they're actually showing us here. This is the exact same thing we just covered in my The Shining movie breakdown. In that film, a shadowy group called the True Knot uses fear to suck the souls out of children. These aren't just spooky witches. These are entities that need the life force of the innocent to maintain their beauty. They literally can't survive in their peak form without this ritual. And just like in Monsters Inc., it's all disguised with catchy songs and funny dialogue, so you don't realize you're watching your ritualized harvest. And this is the exact moment where the movie stops being a comedy and starts revealing the darkest reality of the elite shadowy underworld. We always hear about these celebrities who don't seem to age, or these elites who are obsessed with staying young at any cost. Hocus Pocus was telling us back in the 90s exactly how the system works. They were showing us that for some people, immortality isn't a miracle. It's a commodity that is stolen from the most vulnerable. It makes you wonder, why is this a fun Halloween movie? Why are we teaching our kids that the literal consumption of their innocence is just a spooky story? But once we connect this to those 2026 documents we talked about, the Sanderson sisters start looking less like characters and more like a mirror of reality. This monster brought these young souls to an island and sold their innocence to the highest bidder, just like we see in the story of Peter Pan. In the Disney version, we see a magical boy who just wants to play. But if you go back to the original story, Peter Pan is much more sinister. He literally lures children out of their windows in the middle of the night, promising them a world of no rules.